Hi, my name is Maya, and I started coming to this church over 10 years ago. And one of the main reasons I stayed so long is my friends. This church has built some of my strongest and longest friendships that have brought me so much joy and comfort. I don't exactly remember when I became friends with my current best friends from this church, but I can't remember a time when we weren't. These girls have always been there for me in ups and downs, and that is all thanks to the church. When the pandemic hit and my connections from school started to drift, my friendships from church grew stronger. We would call on Kids Messenger every day and play games online together. All our houses and games had bedrooms for each other. While we weren't able to have as much in-person contact, the friendships I made here strengthened during the quarantine. About 2 years ago, the church started to bring back the high school youth group, and it had been so long since the last time I attended the church, so I was definitely a little wary. However, it was a chance to see my best friends that go to different schools than me. So I decided to attend along with my friends, and I'm very glad I did. I'm so grateful to have such a loving community and youth group and be able to have a safe space with people that care for me. Being able to share joys and sorrows and making crafts based on the monthly theme every second and fourth Sunday became the best way to end my week. A specific time I can recall this youth group helped me in a hard time was the week my cat passed away from cancer. It was a hard time, and it was the first time I had ever experienced death in my close family. I didn't know how to cope. I ended up just crying a lot at home and then not telling anyone, not at school, not through text. I didn't know how to say it. I didn't want it to become my reality. At the end of the week, I had youth group, and I knew I had to tell someone eventually. When it came to my turn for joys and sorrows, through a shaky voice and a little tears, I told them the news. I sat crying along with my best friend in an embrace. While this experience is very vulnerable to me, I'm so thankful that my friends here were there for me. This church is a place where I can relax after a full school week of studying, and a place where I can celebrate after winning awards with said studying. My friendships that have bloomed here are so important to me, and my life wouldn't be the same without them. This church has helped me form great friendships, and I hope some of you can relate. I have so much appreciation to this environment where I can share my sad, stressful, and joyous moments and have people I can create new memories with. Thank you.
I'd like you to think about someone you used to be inseparable from but haven't talked to in years. Friendship isn't always a straight line, and sometimes it looks more like a winding path. People often think growing apart means a friendship has failed, but that's not always true. So what are some reasons friends might grow apart? People change as they grow. Growing apart isn't always caused by conflict. Sometimes distance can just be a natural part of life. Different interests, schools, new relationships, changing identities. All of these things and more can pull people in different directions. Since I knew I was going to be talking about this here at church, I thought it would be interesting to look at it through the lens of our UU values. Transformation means people are allowed to change. Pluralism teaches us that as we grow, we will meet people with different experiences and perspectives. We can appreciate who someone is now, even if they're different from who they were. Love and friendship isn't always closeness. It's care that can survive time and distance. Generosity can look like not keeping track of who texted first or who ghosted who. Being generous with forgiveness helps too. When thinking about interdependence, the people we care about leave lasting marks on us. During middle school, one of my best friends and I had months and months of practically no contact. There were unanswered texts, there were comments that hurt feelings. We had been besties since preschool, and all of a sudden it felt like we were so different from each other. We dressed differently, listened to different music, and had different interests. I hated it. I missed my friend. I felt like I had been replaced by people who liked all the same new things my friend liked. Fast forward, I can't even remember how we reconnected, but after a time we did. We realized we still loved each other in this new stage of life too, And I know we may not always be as close in the future as we are now, but I feel confident that nothing will change us so much that we can't reconnect and continue to love each other through our lives. In closing, not every friendship is meant to last forever, and not every friendship where people drift apart is lost forever, and sometimes growing apart is part of the story. My friend and I taught each other that people can change, grow in different directions for a while, and still find their way back to each other. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mia and I live with neurodiversity. I'm not sure a lot of us here know how that feels, especially living in a world that is so largely built around neurotypical people. For me, the thing I struggle with most throughout my life has been friendship, and I'm sure many people here can relate. Neurodiversity and friendships aren't two topics people often talk about. There's no tutorial video showing us exactly how to make friends. It's something we're expected to know by default, and that's just not how our brains work. Although, honestly, even if there was a tutorial video, I doubt many of us could actually sit through it. As a little kid, making friends seemed easy. I could walk up to somebody and say, "Hi, I'm Mia, wanna play?" And suddenly, we'd spend hours together on the playground. But as I got older, that stopped working, and I never understood why. Before realizing I was on the spectrum, I was misunderstood all the time. I would be my authentic self, running around in the rain, putting mud on my face, which was just my youthful expression of joy. It came natural to me, but other kids often saw it as weird. Teachers noticed how lonely I was and sometimes tried to pair me up with other students. And while I appreciated their kindness, I didn't want someone to spend time with me because they were told to. I wanted a genuine connection, someone who would accept me for who I was and have the patience to get to know me. After some difficult experiences in public school, and then COVID, I started homeschooling. During that time, we learned that I had autism, ADHD, and social anxiety. Knowing that helped me understand myself better. It also helped me realize that connections might not look the same for me as they did for other teenagers, and that was okay. I started building friendships online through games and communities where people met me where I was. If I was having a bad hair day or didn't feel like leaving the house, it didn't affect our friendship. One of my closest friends, Mari, lives 3 states away, and we still talk every day. She has taught me some of the most important lessons about friendship, despite the distance between us. After a lot of self-discovery, I felt ready to put myself out there and find connections closer to home. I was introduced by this church by my mom's best friend, Alicia, and slowly began rebuilding relationships here. Last summer, Chalice Camp gave me the opportunity to be a camp counselor, and that's when I really got to know many of the people I now consider my closest friends. They've shown me all the themes that we're celebrating today: friendship, generosity, laughter, honesty, loyalty, kindness, and of course, magic. Despite my struggles with neurodiversity, learning who I am and what I need has made friendships easier. In fact, embracing my differences has helped me connect with people more authentically. I am no longer focused on being seen as the weird girl. I'm Mia, who's still a little weird, but surrounded by people who accept me for exactly who I am. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ella. I'm 17 years old, and it's no secret that at my age, my friends are everything to me. Life can be exhausting with school, work, and my own brain, and finding a good circle of people to be by your side through all of that is so much more important than most people realize. So what actually does make a good friend? I think that loyalty makes a good friend. I've known Belle for almost 15 years now, and me and her are different from head to toe, inside and out. But through all of that, she's still my best friend. Whether we were playing princesses at 4 years old, playing Roblox at 10, or having sleepovers to this day, I can't remember a time she hasn't been in my life. That unwavering loyalty and sisterhood is what makes a good friend. And Maya, because of Maya, I know that a good friend can make an entire day feel like an hour. I remember being 14, going to Maya's house, and I was filled with anxiety, and I wasn't even sure I was ready to have a sleepover. But at her house, we ended up filming an entire movie together and laughing harder than I had in a long, long time. I remember not wanting that day to ever end and it turning into a 2-day-long sleepover. And within the last 2 years, my friend circle has gotten much smaller. But one girl who made it grow bigger and brighter would have to be Mia. Mia showed me a quality of a friend that no one else has, and that's being able to tell her quite literally anything. We've gone on long, long tangents about things I'm too shy to even mention to anyone else. However embarrassing, however messy, however unfinished, I know who I can go to. And the final piece of my puzzle that my friends have fit together showing me true friendship would have to be Eliana. Eliana has brought me so much throughout the years, but what I adore about her most has to be her whimsical take on life. It can feel impossible to remain positive 24/7, but Eliana is always there with a joke or a moment of relief to nerd out about Star Wars together. She's a friend that brings giggles into a dull moment of silence. I think everyone knows that being a teenager is a crazy time. There have been moments where I felt alone and moments where I felt lost. But I know what makes a good friend, and I know that because of the girls that were on stage with me today. Loyalty, a friend who stays by your side throughout years of change. Quality time, a friend who can make an hour in the hardest part of your life feel like a second. Openness, a friend who discovers the real you and loves you even more for it. And wisdom, a friend who can show you the lighthearted side of living. Finding these qualities in a friend makes life feel lighter, and makes me feel more human. And everyone deserves a good friend like these girls. Thank you.